Let's take a look at pulse lengths. Normally for blue water fishing, we are going to run a long pulse length, okay, the highest value. Let's go ahead and reduce our pulse length down. Let's go back all the way up. Let's go all the way down. Let's look at this echo return right here, all the way up. Yeah, it changes the presentation. Traditionally, pulse length is a way to create resolution by range. Okay? And as I decrease my pulse length, I'm going to create finer separation by distance between targets. So as I reduce my pulse length, my targets don't get quite as fat, and I'm starting to see some separation between the two. As I increase my pulse length, you'll see the targets kind of blend together. Okay. So the pulse lengths can be used to define resolution or create separation by targets of the targets by range. Traditionally, we will use long pulse length. Some cases where we may reduce the pulse length is if we're trying to find fish that are close to a hard echo, like a bottom, like a seafloor, to help separate the actual fish from the seafloor, or maybe a weed line or a current rip. If you have an individual fish swimming in and out of a current rip, you're going to see a current rip on your screen. You know, we could reduce the pulse length to try to create separation between those two. So, maybe that fish is blended into the current rip, but if I reduce my pulse length, I might actually see it separate from it. One thing that you might be able to do is reduce your pulse length and maybe create some separation between those two. Okay. So that's kind of how pulse length works. Normally we run pulse length at 10. Okay. And transmission power. Let's look at transmission power all the way down. We're going to give it a little bit of time. Let the capacitors bleed out a little bit. Transmission power to 10 is a way to reduce power of the transmitter. Probably not something that you're going to do all that often. Normally, you're going to be at transmission power 10. Normally, we want to put as much power in the water as possible. Okay. But as you reduce transmission power, you're not going to be putting as much energy into the water column. The only other thing I want to mention is TX interval. Normally we're using a fixed TX interval at the highest value. That's going to give us our fastest ping rate. But we do have some random ping intervals. And the random ping interval is going to randomize your transmit by microseconds. And we give you 4 different random intervals, and you're likely by the eye not going to see any difference on your screen. But it is randomizing your transmit frequency. And this can be useful if you're fishing around other boats to help reduce interference from other vessels. Okay. So if you start to get into a scenario where you're fishing around and you're seeing some interference, try moving to a different random TX interval to hopefully help reduce some of that. There's 2 different things for target lock. Go ahead and hit button A on your remote. Okay. So the target lock is going to, let me look at a menu setting here. Yeah, target lock by fish. Go ahead and hit target lock again for me. Button A, yep. I'm going to change your target lock. Okay. Go ahead and hit button A for me again. Okay. So the way your target lock works is it's going to keep this particular point in space on your screen as you get closer to this echo. And it's going to keep 95 feet down as where it wants to look in the water column. So as you start to close on this fish, it's going to automatically tilt the sonar down for you to keep 95 feet in the water based on this point. Now, the problem with target lock, go ahead and try to hit your tilt lever. It locks everything out. The target lock is going to override. So if you do need to manual tilt, you just got to hit button A again on your remote and then take control of it again. Some guys use target lock fairly successfully. Other guys don't. The other thing to keep in mind, go ahead and hit target lock for me again. It gives you a depth number, but if you hit target lock again to cancel it, you have no reference. It's going to erase that information. So if you're going to use target lock, I always like to put an event down first. Then you can turn target lock on. And if you need to take manual control, you got to turn target lock off. So I think at the beginning for your sonar operation, as this is kind of we're taking baby steps here, I would probably not use target lock to begin with. Yep. I would not probably use it. I think it might create a little bit more confusion. As you get more comfortable with sonar operation, it can be something that you can use. But I think at the beginning, it'll be something that you want to stay away from right now. If we see our fish echo out here in front of us, 900 feet, I put an event. I probably will not change the range until that fish gets to, about 400 feet. And then once it kind of gets in here, again, you're going to continue to put events on it. Well, what's going to happen is the target out here might be, your target echo out here at range might be quite wide. It might be this wide, right? As it continues to come in, that echo length is going to continue to get smaller and smaller, right? So this might be the size of your fish now. When we first started, it was, what, 1.5 inches, 2 inches long. Now it might be 1/2 inch. Let's go ahead and range in a couple of notches. One more time. One more time. See how this distance increases now? So as you range in, that target is going to get a little bit wider by bearing. So as you're out there at 900 feet, and as you kind of gets in, I think it can be helpful to range in a little bit to try to keep the size of the target a little bit bigger. And if you do lose it as you're coming in, tilt down a couple of degrees. If you don't see it, On this sonar, I found tilt back up a couple of degrees, and you'll probably ping it again. Okay, but it's a rhythm thing, and be gentle with your tilt angle as you're closing on the fish. Yeah, at some point, if you want to get behind, it's gonna be, and you're gonna be down at 55 degrees, and you're gonna see that thing kind of come right back down here, and then you're gonna need to follow it back up again. As it starts to move away from you, you're gonna have to tilt back up, and then you always have your F1 button to get you back into a fishing position.